All right. What is up? I'm Curtis Larry. I'm a Georgia Tech student. I'm 19 years old, and this is March 10th, 2019. I'm here because I want to make a podcast. I think there's many reasons why I want to make a podcast, and let's just get right into it, Let's have some fun with this. So originally why I thought about having a podcast, because I always listen to other people talk about their podcasts themselves, and I kind of look up to them. I listen to YC podcast, Y Combinator. I listen to Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan, and usually when I'm running, but just walking to class or something, that's something that really gets me excited and makes me feel like I'm going the right direction in my life. And I feel like those guys, they get introduced with so much information that I think just realizing other information, you can make better decisions and understand that there's more people around you that aren't just yourself. And so not only would this podcast be me talking about anything I find interesting, but also maybe I could have a guest on once or twice, and I think it'd really help with my public speaking and being able to communicate with someone else on a more intense level that's just way past common chit chat and actually gets into actual real world views and what they're doing. But I also want this podcast to not just be me talking. I also want to use this podcast to help me plan my life and carry through, and then be able to look at this back and see if I've actually followed through with things that I've planned. So let's just take a moment and stop. And this place is nice. That's my favorite building, actually. That one, I don't know if you can see it. Not the AT&T one, not this one, but this one's the best, for sure. The Bank of America building. It lights up at night. We're in Atlanta, by the way. That's the tallest building in Atlanta, I think. So, yeah. All right. So I actually made a list of explicitly why I want to start a podcast, and this list just kept on going and going. And so I thought, come on, you just make the podcast, dude. You can do it. So first thing I already talked about was organizing my thoughts, so that I can come back and look at this and see kind of a framework of how my mind works. And so then I can come back and look at my own perceptions from a third point of view, which I think would be wonderful for me to do, because then I can realize me. Okay. And then talk about having meaningful conversations with people. So if someone's good at a certain thing, we are at a tech school, or I'm at a tech school, but if someone is, say, I'm a mechanical engineer, say I'm talking to a nuclear engineer, then I could get insight on how that works and kind of expand my understanding of how nuclear physics and stuff like that works, because that could be something pretty interesting and actually makes a lot of sense. Oh no, I've been having my voice recorder so far away, but hopefully it's picked that up. All right, next. I also want to do this every Sunday, or something in between, and post on Sunday. At least having Sunday be once a week. like for sure, I want to get one out on Sunday each week. And I know this is going to take a lot of dedication and determination, but I think it's very beneficial to me. Get better at conceptual speaking as well as public speaking. So conceptual speaking being more about not planned speaking, having a speech that you wrote down, but just speaking straight from your mind and being able to convey your ideas to another person is something that I think is really worth a lot. And so these two things, documenting my life events. So maybe I'll just talk about sometimes what I'm up to, what I plan on doing. Right now, I just had the idea to start this 3D printing kind of company just run out of my room, or if people send me a STL file, I'll print it for free, and then I'll just ship it to him. And so I'll only make like a few dollars based on overcharging for shipping. But other than that, I also want to do this so that my family and friends can see what I'm up to, because I think it's very valuable to be communicate where you've been so other people can see where you're going. And so you can try and stay connected with everyone instead of really only texting them once in a while on their birthday or a call once in a while. But this, people will be able to see my updated progress, and I'll be able to see it myself too, which is great. Which is on to the next part, which is to hold me to my goals. So if I say in here, I want to have this one thing accomplished in a certain time, or I want this to happen, or I want to achieve this thing, then I'll see that I said that in the past, and if I don't do that thing, then I'll really be able to understand my limits and what I'm capable of, and how to frame my goals to be more accomplishable. Also, like, cool things to talk about. Like, this is just the first podcast, but hopefully in all the future ones, I have like a wall of questions in my room where I was like, oh, why does this one thing happen? Oh, what's going on here? What's up? Why do things happen like that? And I think it'd be cool to have an episode dedicated to answering one of those problems each time, because one goal that I set up a while ago was to, like, every Sunday try and answer a few of those questions just for myself so I can get a better understanding of the world, because if you can't ask questions, you can't live. That's like, I don't know, there's a bunch of quotes about asking questions and stuff. That's pretty funny. But also, yeah, okay, so I'll probably plan this podcast. I'll plan each of them. I kind of want to limit them to be around 20 minutes in time, because I feel like that's enough time to get all my mental juices out, plus it's time enough to limit it so I can actually do the things I want to do in my day. And I think having a 15-minute session where I talk to myself like an idiot just in the middle of this park, having people look at me weird, actually could be kind of cool. Okay. Wow. And the last one I have is to have myself be getting comfortable with making mistakes. So, like, right now I'm not the best speaker. I've probably stumbled on my words almost every sentence. And I want to be able to understand that I definitely have flaws big time. And if I can realize my flaws, I can work on them and see where I'm coming at with my own mindset. Wow, this is so hard. I've never done something like this before. I really like it though. Wow, it feels good. Oh, and also it'd be cool to do this podcast because over this summer I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm going to be staying in Europe doing a study abroad with Georgia Tech. And so if I can do one every week, it'd be kind of cool if I did one like in, we'll go to Spain, do one in Spain, do one in Italy, do one in Paris, do one in Morocco, or wherever we go. We might even rent a castle in Ireland, which would be kind of hype if we can get that castle. It's going to be kind of far away, but we really got to get on that and start planning that. Oh, maybe what I should be doing here too is making notes while I talk, because then I can also write it down and understand what I have to do, because this is also a good time to have a conversation with myself about the plans that I have in the future. Okay, wait, let's first start out by looking at what I wrote for me to do this week. I keep a journal usually, or have been for a while, where I just write all the things that I did in a few section of days, and then I write what I hope to accomplish in the next section. And so I'll come back to the book, check off everything that I did, and if I see something's unchecked, then hopefully I'll put it on the next checklist for the next week. But let's see what we can knock off right now. Oh, probably not much, because I filled this out yesterday. So, okay, I need to do stuff for waiter. I need to go for another run. I just did a marathon last Saturday, March 3rd, the Snickers Marathon in Albany, Georgia. And man, was that a bad marathon. I I had some accidents on the road. Let's just say I couldn't go to the bathroom before the race, but all throughout the middle of the race, no one can stop me from not going to the bathroom. It got messy sometimes. I didn't like it. I threw out most of my clothes, so don't worry. Okay. Freedy Prince. I don't know if I said that's the name of it. So it's like Freed Prince, but the E and the D are for 3D, and so the second E in free is a 3. Wow, that's a lot of the E sound. Wow, I got a lot of... Oh, I can check one off. I did my multi-homework. Got to do thermo homework, and then I have 3 exams coming up, and then we got spring break. Spring break's gonna be cool. Oh, maybe I can have Brittany as my first guest, or Hennessy. I might just do another one by myself. Yo, also something funny I thought of. Do you know like the iPhone Emoji thing where you put it on your face and you're like a monkey or whatever, and you do all your facial expressions and it works? I'm thinking maybe for like a guest I have on the show, if they don't really want to know, don't want people to know who they are, they can just have their face be replaced by the Emoji. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, I really hope my phone's recording good audio, because I know my voice sounds awful, and it's just gonna hurt my ears when I play it back. So, okay. Oh, one thing that I did do pretty cool today was I was actually able to set up an S3 bucket in Amazon, the Amazon Web Services, and I was able to store STL files in there, like CAD models. And so on the website for 3D prints, I can have, like if you submit a file, you can view it right there in the window and spin it around. And also I can have a section where it's like things that I already have, like you grab them from Thingiverse, and like say a little sculpture of a dog or a cat or something that I would have found on Thingiverse, and I put it in there, and you can see like, oh, if you want a little cat as a little present, or you want to have a little small sculpture of something and just have it shipped to you, like I can print it for free and then send it to you. I don't know, this is one of the most scalable business ideas that I've come across recently, because I think I have the capacity of myself to execute this, and I think that I can frame this to be more profitable in a sense, where I can measure exactly how much money's going in and measure how much money is getting brought, like how much money I'm putting into it and how much money people are paying me for the service. And because the last business I did over the summer was the jewel sleeve thing, the hidden smoke sleeve. That was pretty funny, but I lost so much money on that. We bought a whole new 3D printer just to make that, and then we also paid a lot for advertisements all throughout, like Instagram and stuff. We did sell like 20 of them and make $400, but that was in revenue, not in profit. Profit is still net negative on that one, but the 3D printer has come in handy, very much so. And so I'm very glad that we got that 3D printer. That definitely changed my life. Okay. Oh, and I definitely have to work on waking up at least by 6 a.m. every weekday. I really want to try and do that. I've slowly been building my way there. It sounds like a stupid task, because it's like, oh, for like high school or whatever, I always woke up at 6 a.m. But if there's not really anything that's requiring you to wake up at this certain time, then are you really going to do it? Like, sure, your alarm goes off, but you're like, what am I missing if I just sleep in for another few hours? It's like, no, you're missing stuff, dude. It's way better to wake up early, because then you wake up and maybe you hit a coffee and you're like, well, I'm up. I might as well do something. Like, might as well just not waste my time. And definitely going to sleep early helps a lot. Like, you can wake up early as hell, but if you don't get enough hours of sleep, your performance is going to be lacking. Well, you saw that. Whoosh. Yeah, I love you. All right, so yeah, why podcasts? I really want to keep this going, and I told myself, oh, yo, if I don't get 50 of these podcasts done, I lose. I have to get at least 50, and then I can decide if it's good doing this or not. And so you guys hold me to my word. You guys, I'm still looking at you, Kurt. When you watch this video again, I'm looking at you. Yeah, make 50 of these podcasts at least. If you do anything, do that. This is me talking. Yeah. All right. Sorry, that was a little weird. Yeah. So I think it'd be cool to have some fun guests. I really want to be able to expand my horizon of people that I know, so that I can meet really cool people. Because I don't know, it's starting to realize that not everyone is. I mean, everyone's unique, but not everyone thinks the way that you think, and that's kind of caught me off guard sometimes, not being able to understand how people think, because then how can I judge myself and my own actions if I realize that the qualities of the qualities that determine someone's actions are different for each person. So a rock star and a psychologist are going to live out extremely different lives, but why would they live out different lives if there's one binary correct choice? And so that might mean that there isn't a binary correct, this is the right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do. Even if you decide it yourself, it could probably be 80% the good thing to do and 20% the bad thing to do, or a 50% indifferent. And so really judging that it takes your own will, and I don't think you can really say that someone else is doing it wrong, because how do you know? You can think to yourself oh, I would not do it that way, but this is someone else's ideas, and who are you to try and change their ideas? I think the worst thing you can do is try and make someone else think exactly how you think, because then you're just creating a world of zombies that all think the one thing. That's oh, let's be productive, be productive, be productive. But really a big thing that's challenging me right now is determining how productive I want to be. Do I want to spend all my time working, and really just have boring amounts of fun, or some things that are fun but they're just really not as fun as they could have been? If fun level is all the way up here max, the fun that you're having is right here, and if you're sacrificing that for being able to have productivity of up here, is it really worth it? And so I know, I think it's best to be double up here all the way, but it's difficult to get there for sure. And I think it's definitely better to work on being productive. I guess being productive is definitely more quantifiably you're doing a good job, but can you really quantify the amount of fun that you have? And even so, do you really want to raise the bar of how much fun that you've had? Because ever since you raised the bar to being this high amount of fun, then everything that used to be this high is now this high. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but wow, this is so much fun. Oh, this was a good idea. Yes. Oh. Yeah. All right, I think we covered all I wanted to talk about. Originally, I had scheduled this episode to drop March 31st, but I said, just start it now. Do it now. Do it now. That was Arnold. Yeah. Thanks for watching.